morning. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 249 and we're here live in Southwest Florida waiting for the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees to the east. And this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me, having a beautiful sunrise. The colors are just gorgeous. I hope you can see them in the camera. The horizon has lots of gold and peach, and then it gradients up to that beautiful sky blue, and then that reflects on the water. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Lisa. If you're joining me live, please say hello and let me know what you've been crafting on the last few days. Hi, Melissa and Ruthie, Lily, Jane, Nikki. Thanks for joining live. Good morning, Sherry. Hi, Sir Mona. Hi, Leanne, Chantel. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Hello, Isabel from Madrid. Hello, Mary. I'm not sure if anyone notices, but there's a school of fish going by. Good morning from Arizona. Lynn, Margaret, Naomi, Samantha, good morning. Lisa's working on a vest. Hi, Catherine. Good morning, Kelly. Lots of familiar names. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, Ruthie, when you see texture in the circular formations on the water, it's usually swarms of fish all together right in that spot. Good morning, Elizabeth. When I go out fishing, that's what we look for. That's a good thing to see when you're fishing. I suppose that's what the dolphins look for too. Maybe we'll get lucky and see one today. Who knows? Yeah, thanks everybody. I took several days off. Some of you probably already know or put it together that our friend was very ill in the hospital. Our family friend was very ill in the hospital and got moved to hospice a few days ago and passed away Sunday at hospice, and we were by his side to the end and did everything we could to make his transition as peaceful and comforting as possible. And you know, helping Marlon with two major losses back to back within 4 months is just probably one of the biggest challenges of my life. Thanks, Leanne. So he's struggling, obviously, and it's hard. It's hard. But everybody has ups and downs, and you know, what are you gonna do? It's been really hard on Marlon, and having to convince him to get back on the horse and that life goes on has been brutal, because he wants to makes him want to take out his anger and frustration on me because he needs an outlet. It's just been hard, really hard. As lots of you already know, lots of you have already experienced this, and more so than we have. So that's what I try to keep everything in perspective. Life has its ups and downs, and life is short. Life is really short, and you never know when your last time of anything's going to be, so make it count. Thanks, Elizabeth. Thanks, everybody, for your support. I really appreciate it. It was just, I was just getting pulled in so many directions that I just couldn't commit to doing the podcast for those few days. So I took 3 days off, and now we're back. I have been working in the background still, though. All the shipments have been going out. Yarn's still being dyed. Handmade gifts is still in the process. We're so close to the end of working on handmade gifts. Thank you, Karen. Karen's one of my editors for the Handmade Gifts book. Yeah, we're really close to final copy, which means it'll only be a few days for press after that, so that's extremely exciting. Probably enough time now that I could put the pre-order up on my website. I will consider doing that later today. And then, yeah, it'll probably go to press one day this week. Crazy. And we will, so I'll put a pre-order up on my website, and it'll be on Amazon a few days after that, and it'll be here and in stock a few days after that. for anybody that live in other parts of the world, Australia, Europe, South America, in Asia, it'll be available in all of the Amazon shops worldwide as well. So 80 Handmade Gifts is almost here. Next on my list after that will be working on a baby book, crochet encyclopedias, and layers to crochet and layers to knit. So 4 books coming after that. And like I said, I've been dyeing yarn while all of this has been going on. I have a very nice collection of sporty bling ready to launch. In fact, Sunrise 04 looks very much like this sunrise today. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. It has some of the sky blue, some of that gold at the horizon, some of that peach at the horizon, and it has a little bit of iris, which reminds me of that transition between the sunrise and the sky. Really pretty. So that will be Sunrise 04, and then I did jewel tones for the rest of Sporty Bling. I brought London Blue Topaz back. I brought a beautiful coral, red maple, jaded peacock. What else? Maybe that's it. And then I dyed Be So Sporty yarn in those colors as well. Oh, and I did, I brought back the Charlie's Angels Chris color, which was the orange, peach, yellow variegated. Brought that back, a new dye lot of that in Be So Sporty and Be So Fine. So all of that's drying right now and should be available in the next couple of days. What else? I'm glad everybody likes those ideas. Good. Yeah, those will be out. I mean, some of it's still drying, other parts are dry. So I may list it in batches because the ones that are dry now I could photograph and list, and then the rest of them I'll have to wait until they dry. But I mean, we're talking a very short period of time for all that right now. Be So Baby arrived, so that's the new yarn that will be coming out soon. I'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But my shipment arrived and starting to work on samples, so excited about that too. So excited to work on baby stuff again. For those of you that don't know, that's how I started knitting and crocheting. When I was pregnant with Marlon and living overseas, I taught myself how to knit and crochet to make baby stuff. So excited to come full circle now and have my own baby yarn and to be able to design baby projects. And who doesn't like to make baby stuff, right? Be So Baby is a DK weight yarn. So it'll make things go really quickly. DK weight is a number 3 yarn, so it's between sporty and it's between a 2 and a 4, number 3, and so it'd be thicker than a sporty and thinner than a worsted. So I've started with a couple of hats and booties, and I'm gonna make some sweaters, and I think I'm gonna size everything through toddler to start with. Yeah, Be So Baby is a pretty cute name. I agree, Elizabeth. So I'm sizing all the projects with newborn, 6 months, 12 months, and 1 to 3 years to start with. Probably will add preemie and maybe a 4 or 5-year-old size. Haven't quite decided where we'll do the cutoff for that, but we're gonna have lots of sizes because, you know, those of you who have been mothers a long time know that when we give baby shower gifts now, we don't always give the newborn size, right? Unless you're making the coming home outfit or you're making multiple things. I think a lot of us as seasoned parents like to give gifts that are for the 6-month size and larger because we know how quickly that baby grows out of the first sizes, and we also know that that's the size that most people give gifts for. Freezabee likes to make 18 months. Yeah, that's a good point. Now, my models are going to be real life-size dolls. So the sizes that I'll be making for photos will be newborn size, but that's why the patterns will be sized for all of the other sizes as well. So I was able to find 20-inch dolls, which are newborn size, so they have the right head measurement for baby hats, They have the right body measurements for baby clothing and booties. And I found them in multiple ethnicities, so I'm going to have, my models are going, one of the models is going to be Caucasian, another one will be African American, another one will be Hispanic, and another one will be Asian. And I can't wait to dress up all my models and do them in photos together. I think it's going to be so cute. And fun, just fun. Thanks, Beatrice. Oh, I got some bug bites on my wrist the other day and I can't stop itching it. Yeah, so then we'll do baby blankets too, and we'll do baby toys and gifts and bibs and what else? All sorts of things. Yeah, I get to play with dolls. I know, how fun is that? Yeah, so I'm on my second hat so far. The first set of patterns will be you know, things to launch with the yarn, and then after that I'll be working on a book of patterns for the yarn. But exciting. And like I said, everybody makes baby stuff, right? We all have a need to make baby stuff here and then. Put toothpaste on my bug bites. That's a good idea, Beatrice. Ah, Karen has 2 babies coming. That's great. November and March. Oh, good. We have time then. So let's see what else has been going on. Surely other things have been going on too. I don't know. Glad to be back to the beach though. Ah, Kimberly works in the nursery at a hospital. That's nice. I bet you see lots of handmade knit and crochet items come through the doors. Oh, KB, baby stuff's quick to make, except the blankets. The blankets aren't super quick, but everything else is. I've been debating whether or not I should do live stream videos of making baby stuff instead of doing, you know, the recorded videos, because I figure that way I could teach the whole project in real time, because they don't take that long to make. I wonder how long or weird that would be, but I guess we won't know unless I start. So I figured for sure I'll do the booties in a live video, since they can't be more than 30 minutes to make one. And the hat, I don't know, it might be an hour or so. Not sure if that will be interesting as a live stream or not, but I figured I could try it. And then maybe to make a baby sweater, maybe do a live stream video in steps, so that you get to see making the whole project and you can follow along every stitch by every stitch. It's just, you know, a sweater might still take a couple hours, so I'm not sure anyone feels like sitting with me the whole time, so I might break it into 2 parts, but it's just thoughts that I have on it. But that way, if someone has questions in real time as I'm making it, it would be a great opportunity for me to be able to stop and show you your question or things like that. Yes, Lisa, I've been so busy that I have not been able to get back to anybody about the baby stuff, and I have mentioned on here that when I'm ready for that, I will be reaching out to everybody who asked about making baby projects. Yes, there will definitely be an opportunity to help for that, for sure. Thank you so much. Oh, Elizabeth has children that are interested in knitting and crocheting. That's great. It's such a good hobby for kids. It's, first of all, it keeps their brains active during a hobby. That hand-eye coordination is so important. And like I've mentioned in many podcasts before, and many times before, there are studies that have been done that prove that working on knitting and crochet improves math skills in children. There's a direct correlation between that. So it's a great way to give kids a head start and in their academics. Lisa's girls like to craft. That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Oh, which reminds me about 80 handmade gifts. I have thought long and hard about, someone asked me if there were going to be projects in that book that would be suitable for making with their grandkids. And I've thought long and hard about the whole book, and I have to say almost everything in the book is kid-friendly and stuff that you can make with your grandkids or children of any kind, or Girl Scout troops, or your children and their friends, which is going to be an amazing way to pass on our love of crafting with the next generation. So I feel like whatever you're interested in 80 handmade gifts, whether it's knitting, crochet, paper crafts, the cooking recipes, the sewing projects. You know, the sewing projects are with a sewing machine, so that'll be dependent on the age of the child and their interest in sewing. But there is not a difficult project in the entire book. And, you know, it's all about gift giving, which is another, not just gift giving, handmade gift giving, which are two really special traditions that I think are important to pass on to the next generation. So we want to pass on to them being creative and having a creative outlet. We want to pass on to them giving, and we want to pass on to them giving things that are handmade. So between all of that, I feel like, and giving gifts when it's not always the holidays. I feel like that's another thing. Giving someone a gift just because you want to say you care about them, or just because, for any reason, no reason. And I think these are all incredibly powerful traditions that we have the ability to pass on to the next generation. So once somebody asked me if it was friendly for, Mary, I want to get back to that, yes. Lisa, I can talk about that later. I can't give you that answer right off the top of my head because I can't remember the name, but I can talk about sewing machines another time when we're talking about the sewing for sure. I don't have one to tell you off the top of my head. I do have a couple in my Amazon shop that I suggest. Oh, I lost my train of thought now. So we'll go back to the piano question. Couple things. Somebody said that knitting and crochet help with piano playing. That is correct, but also piano playing helps with math skills as well. So there have been studies showing that being creative at music also supports academics, but I feel like anytime you're good at moving your hands around, you're good at other things that involve moving your hands around. So once you're good at handwork and fine handwork, it helps with everything else. So playing piano or guitar, knitting and crochet, painting, drawing, sewing, all of that stuff goes hand in hand. Woodworking, once you're good, whittling, once you're good at using fine skills with your hand, it can apply to so many other things. That's true. And I lost my train of thought on something if someone wants to remind me, and I missed a bunch of questions because, you know, it's just the nature of talking and looking at questions and comments. If anybody wants to repeat, go ahead. Yeah, math is really important for quilting, specifically geometry. Yeah, simple machines are better. I agree, Lisa, and I have a couple of them in my Amazon shop if you want to take a look. And I can talk more about that when I show my sewing machine next time too, when we start doing the demos for the book at my studio. Have you any experience with sewing machines, or are you brand new to it? That's funny, Robert. I know, it's hard to keep focused, right? Yeah, I did answer Mary's question. She asked about piano playing. Do I have any videos regarding publishing? No, I don't have any videos about that. Yeah, I know, I was talking about teaching the next generation. Maybe I said everything I needed to say about it. Anne is a seamstress. That's wonderful. Both of KB's machines are Singer. Cool. Okay, Lisa, then if you do have some experience, but I haven't done anything in years, you might be fine with just buying a simple machine and getting started. It's something that really does come back to you pretty quickly. I would recommend going with a simple machine instead of a fancy machine with lots of bells and whistles, just because that can get overwhelming when you're coming back into something. I love sewing and wish I had more time to do it, but that's why I like doing small projects, And so making all the small projects for the book was really fun. That was, oh, Leanne, you're the one that asked a couple weeks ago. That's great. Yeah, I think it's going to be something that everyone will enjoy making, picking which projects they want to make with their kids, or letting the kids pick which projects looks interesting to them. Oh, Anne learned on an old-fashioned machine. That's cool. I inherited an older sewing machine and serger machine a couple years ago, but I haven't gotten them serviced yet, so I still use my super duper basic beginner machine, and that's fine too. That's great, Kelly. Yeah, simple machines will get the job done. You know, it depends on how much you're doing. Are the handmade gifts only crochet that are featured in your book? No, there's knitting, crochet, sewing, food recipes, paper crafts, a bunch of different types of projects. There was a question about an apron and I did not see it. I love to cook too, Lisa, and I actually really love giving food gifts. It's like one of the easiest things to give somebody, right? You're not always sure if knitting and crochet will be accepted or appreciated, but almost all the time food gifts are appreciated. And so finding good containers and making yummy treats is just one of the best ways. Is my apron an easy pattern? Absolutely. Yep, all of my sewing patterns are easy. I am not trying to wow anybody with my skills. I'm trying to enable more people to be crafty. Sherry, a pedal machine means you push a pedal down to make it go, kind of like, have you ever seen a spinning machine that does that? It works kind of like that. How do I come up with what to make for dinner? You know, different things inspire me. I try to cook healthy often. Always try to have, you know, a lean protein for Marlon, a good green vegetable or salad that applies to both of us, and some sort of a carbohydrate for him or me that's not made with processed white flour. So that could either be potatoes or rice or occasionally pasta or what else? Things of that nature. Lean protein for him always has to be animal product. I do try to keep cheese to the minimum for dinner. Gluten-free is helping me still, Mar? Yes, I am still happy being gluten-free. I have not had a headache since all of this started. How long have I been gluten-free now? 2 weeks? I've not had a single headache yet, and I've been through a lot of stress in the last few weeks, and so it's kind of surprising that I haven't had a headache. Kelly, I am at Vanderbilt Beach in North Naples this morning. I do feel like I have more range of motion with my back and my hips, but I also have not exercised yet, so I can't really quantify how much better my joints are. What else? At one point I thought I had less brain fog, but I've been under so much stress the last few weeks that I can't really quantify that either, except all I can say is I absolutely have not had a headache, and I don't know. I think I have a lot of headaches compared to 0 headaches for a couple of weeks, so I'm not interested in going off the diet, if that answers your question. Robert gave up cheeseburgers, I think. We weren't really affected by Hurricane Michael here. We were, yes, Mary, gluten-free can be challenging, and I'll talk about that more in the future too. I think I would like to do some ebooks on different types of recipes, and maybe, not sure if I'll do large enough collections for print books, but definitely some ebooks. And so some of the things that I'd like to talk about are ways to eat vegan and ways to eat gluten-free, and they don't always coincide, and nobody needs to do both all the time. So I think that there are some things that I definitely have a point of view on that I would like to share with other people. So when that time comes, I can talk about that more as well. The sun's almost up. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Rav is a sewer also. Anne's lactose intolerant. Okay, so you avoid dairy as well. What I found crazy is how hard it is. Yeah, the panhandle is still doing really poorly. Thanks, Jane. Glad to be back. I barely got the last parking space to come to the beach this morning too, so yes, Moose Gal, there's a lot to having a vegetarian diet, and to go 100%, there is a lot that you need to concern yourself with, which is why I prefer to do it 80% of the time, and that way the other 20% of the time I get a lot of the nutrients that I can easily receive from animal products and not have to worry about the technicalities and the severity of a 100% vegan diet. I just had too much going on, Rav. It's not that I had personal days where I got to put my feet up. I've just had too much on my plate to actually be here as well. So thanks for your patience. And that's something else I can talk about when we talk about those things, is why I choose to do things 80% instead of 100%. Whoa, 33 degrees in Indiana. That's chilly. No, Grace, I don't take a vacation. Yeah, back then, Beatrice, I'm sure your family sewed out of a necessity. Now, sewing is a luxury. Fabric is way more expensive now than when I was a kid, or future, or even generations further back. Thanks, Sherry. Yeah, you do need warm clothes now, Lisa. Okay, so Layers Crochet Book, my samples arrived back yesterday from my editor, which means we're going to have some crochet sweaters and cardigans and ponchos and vests coming very soon. So that book will be very soon, probably come out within the next month or so, certainly planning for it to be before Christmas. So that will be Layers Volume 1, all crochet projects. And I'm guessing it'll be somewhere in the 18 project range. Yeah, that will be very exciting. So first round of technical editing is done, which means I will be passing those projects off to my next round of editors. What are some of my favorite fibers to knit and crochet with? It depends on the project. It depends on the project. Sometimes felting is what I want to do. Sometimes dressy projects is what I want to do. Sometimes it's more based on fiber thickness about what I want to make. I love to use thinner yarns for making garments. Love to use thicker yarns for accessories. It really depends on the project. I feel like there's a yarn for every project and a project for every yarn. So I don't like to narrow myself down to one thing. I know a lot of you feel the same way. But I would have to say that as far as garments, I prefer bamboo and organic cotton and things that are soft and breathable. Oh wow, that's cool. I did not see the one house that stood standing in the panhandle. Well, that does speak a lot for good craftsmanship, doesn't it? Wow. Oh, Rab just bought my seamless crochet book. Awesome. That's another technique that I want to do a whole other volume on. When I first... Oh, thank you, Janelle. Jebby Mama is my friend Janelle, who was one of the first people that I met when I first came to Florida. And she's from Trinidad, and we both used to live in the same community when we first moved down here. And now she lives on the other coast of Florida, but we're still friends, so thank you. Thank you for that compliment. I know, we used to have a lot of fun cooking together too, Janelle. Miss those days when our kiddies were little and we used to cook together. That was fun. All right, well, we are almost out of time, so let's take this last minute here to look out at this magnificent view. Soak in the colors. Can't wait to show you the new sunrise colorway. But let's just soak in the sounds of the waves, the colors of the scenery, and set our intentions for the day. Thanks everyone for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the sound of the waves, chatting with me and everyone else here. I appreciate you all very much. Have a wonderful day. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Oh, I may not see you tomorrow, but I'll definitely see you Thursday. Bye everybody.